Yo, if you've been following Kanye, and even if you've not, you've probably been hearing all about these crazy tweets and Instagram posts and all this drama between Kim and Pete and the babies, the kids, and all that stuff. And man, you know, I try to stay out of it after I made a video about it, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna leave him alone because I'm like, man. But I kind of feel bad for the brother, you know. I kind of feel bad for him. It's like the more I think about it, it's like, man, it's rough. It's a sad situation, to be quite honest. It's a sad situation, and it's a sad situation on all parts. I'm not just talking about Kanye. I'm talking about Kim and Pete and especially the kids. I mean, there's no getting around it. This whole situation is sad. And if you think it's entertaining, or if you just think it's normal, it's a definition of the dysfunction that's going on and taking place in our society. Because this is far from normal. In fact, this is tragic. Because what we have here is a family, or what used to be a family, that consisted of Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, and the children. And as a result of disagreements, irreconcilable differences, usually that's what they say, they decide to just call it off. Hey, I can't be with you anymore. It's like, I love this analogy, and I don't know if you ever heard it, but let's consider this. It's like you have a car, and it's a car that is kind of old. It's getting a little junky, meaning like, the paint is not as bright. The oil's starting to leak, maybe. The interior is getting a little, tattered up. You know what I'm saying? So it's not what it used to be. In fact, sometimes you're embarrassed. You're just embarrassed that you drive the thing. But you know what? This is your car. It's taking you places. But the reasonable thing to do is maybe get a new car. I mean, that's not unreasonable. If you can afford it, why not? You know what? I'm going to trade it in. Right? And a lot of people do that. They trade in their vehicles, and they get a brand new one. Hey, that's perfectly fine. But let's put this other scenario. Let's say you were working and maybe you do construction. How about that? You do construction and you're at the job, and then you accidentally damage and hurt your arm or your hand. And it's like, oh no, you got to go to the hospital. It's like, what do? It's like, do you just cut it off? It's like, no, you want to ask the doctor, hey doc, man, can you heal this? Can you bring this, back to life where I can move my hand again and I won't have pain and I can use it? And you're so concerned about it. So you treat your hand differently from a car, of course, because there's a value attached to it, because it's a part of you. But unfortunately, a lot of people who get married treat their wife as if it was a car. Like when the paint gets old, it starts chipping, the interior, gets tattered up, or it starts to leak. You're like, ooh, it's time to get a new one. It's like, that's how people treat marriage these days. That's how people treat relationships. And if you understand the importance and the significance of marriage, I don't think you'd be treating your wife that way. That's why when you make a vow, it says for better or for worse, till death do us part. Like, what kind of vows did they make? Probably, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't watch it. It was televised, right? I don't know. But look, this is why it's important to get married and have a marriage relationship before the Lord. Because you'll understand the value of what a real relationship is. And then when you bring life into this world, and I'm talking about their children, they won't have to suffer because of their mistakes and misunderstanding of what marriage should have been. Marriage is something that is treasured and valued by God. It is something that is blessed by God. It is something that God desires for us to be in a relationship with a man or a woman, and together we become one. And that's why if something happens to your hand, you're not just going to cut it off and say, "Oh, give me another hand." No, you want to save that hand. You want to make that hand work again and heal because it's a part of you. Well, your wife or your husband is a part of you. Each of you before was individuals, but then you came together and became one. And so that's why it's so important that we value and understand what marriage is. Because if we don't, we're going to make the same mistakes that Kanye and Kim made. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is going to have repercussions that destroy the lives of these innocent children. And we over here in our society are just looking at this, played out for the world to see. But the sad reality is that it happens every day. Maybe not as glamorous and not as open to where everybody sees it, but the damage is clearly seen in our society. We have kids who have grown up in broken marriages, kids who have suffered through divorce, and I'm a product of that myself. And so I understand what that means, to grow up in dysfunction, to grow up where your parents are separated. And I for instance, don't even know my dad. So there's a lot of things and issues that arise from that, because a child should grow up having that balance of knowing that they're loved and secured, and that they're being offered the things that a man or a woman or together as a safe home, treasured relationship. And so I just feel bad for the brother. I feel bad that it had to go down like this. And the fact is, I feel bad more because he professes to be a Christian. And if you're a Christian right now, I need you to understand this. Look, do not be unequally yoked. It's very important for you to seek out a godly woman who understands the value of marriage and will fight for your marriage. Now, I see Kanye, he's like out there trying to fight for his marriage. But the truth is, his wife, doesn't have that same value. He should have knew that from the jump. And I don't know, I can't say, but this is my recommendation for believers especially out there. Find a godly woman and share the same values. Find a woman or a man who loves God more than you, because God needs to be the center of your relationship. And that's the way marriage is going to work, and it's going to endure the test of time. Because nowadays, if you've been married for 5 years, it's like, oh, wow, man, that's a long time. It's like, no, it's not. Have you met a lot of people who've been married for 50 years, 40 years, even 25 years? Like these days, people just getting divorced left and right, as if they're just like not in a intimate, serious relationship. Especially worse when they have kids, and it's just a lot of dysfunction. And so please pray for Kanye, and pray for everybody involved. Pray for a godly woman or a godly man if that's what you're desiring, and be patient and wait on the Lord, because God has someone for you. And we cannot make that mistake of just jumping in and then saying, I want to trade in. You understand? Oh, my phone's ringing. I don't even know if you can hear that, but my phone's ringing right now. But anyways, I guess that's time. It's time for me to get up out of here. I just wanted to share that and ring the alarm. It's time. Ring the alarm, man. Call on the name of the Lord. Call on the name of the Lord. All you guys who haven't been saved, all of you who don't know Jesus, call upon the name of the Lord. If anything, you need to understand that you need a Savior. We all need a Savior because sin separates us from God. And the wages of sin is death. But Jesus died on the cross in our place to save us from sin. We were destined to hell, but God made a way. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through the Son, Jesus. And so call upon him today because he is victorious. He has risen. He is alive. He is seated on the right hand on the Father of the Father. And he will come once again to judge the living and the dead. The day of salvation is today. Call upon the name of the Lord and be saved. God bless.